Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program, where I've already scoped us out an intercept here, and that's going to be in 1 year 86 days, so we might as well just continue to warp forward while going through this intro stuff. And we've got ourselves a reasonably decent flyby here. Now, we're going to be altering our trajectory for sure. Actually, this is going to be the wrong timing, isn't it? We're going to need to modify this a little bit. Let's stop that time warp, and I actually completely got rid of the maneuver, which was not exactly what we were looking to do. Let's recreate that. The reason why I wanted to change this a bit, and it's around there, is we want to be coming through on the side that is facing the sun. Now, this is the side that's facing the sun right now. Where will the encounter actually be located, though? It'll be located around here in the orbit. So that is about right. Yeah. So we want to be... I want to change the actual location of this a bit. I'm tossing in a little bit of radial to do that. There. Something like this, where we're almost entering orbit. And just tweak the periapsis a little bit if we can. Something kind of like that. So the idea here is once we reach here, and we'll delete this maneuver, but once we reach here, we're going to do a prograde burn here, which will, in theory, catapult us back towards Kerbin. Now, I don't know where Kerbin is going to be. It has not exactly the right timing, so we're just going to want to circularize it around here or so, right? So that'll be absolutely fine, and we can get ourselves a better encounter that way. That's not going to be very much Delta V, not like we're short on Delta V here, to be clear. I mean, really, we could just keep this same orbit. And then just lower the periapsis up here and see what that brings us. That is a potential possibility. We definitely need to be heading towards this node, though. We've got 400 days of warp ahead of us, so I'm going to cut that out, and we will be right back. See you guys in a moment. Okay, so here we are, very, very close to the end of the warp. I also took the time to get us aligned properly before doing the rest of the warp, so here we are, ready to go. We can warp forward a little further than this, 30 seconds, 20, 10, and 3, 2, 1, 0. So I'm reasonably certain that if we were to enter orbit here, which we absolutely have the capacity to do, I'm reasonably certain that this is not going to count for the contract, which is mildly awkward. What I would have done is I would have had something rendezvous with this for the docking portion of the contract. I don't like the way that this is wiggling, that's for sure. But I would have had something dock with this for the rendezvous portion of the contract and called that good, but I'm pretty sure that we have to just do the flyby. So what's this going to look like as it is right now? Okay, I want to be pointed at prograde here, and we'll just bring that guy right on in a little bit. Maybe a little further. We're coming in on the dark side here, so I'd like to flip it on around like that. This is very sensitive. I mean, we're using a mainsail for this. This just goes to show how overkill this is, that we're still using the mainsail. But I'd like to head over to, I think, radial plus or radial minus. It's one of those. We don't need to have this pinned open. Thank you very much. This is also going to be an Ike flyby, which I don't necessarily want, but I don't necessarily hate. Actually, should we just keep this trajectory? I think it's fine. We'd get the opportunity to get some data from Ike, which seems reasonable. We should definitely do that. And after what we experienced at Eve, I'm kind of paranoid and want to double check all of this. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so at this point, we are going to come over this direction. That's going to be in another 400 days. So we're going to begin to warp here, and then we're going to have a double flyby past Duna and then past Ike, and then we're going to be thrown out. And this is not going to substantially change our final orbit, I don't think. Actually, it's not showing me which direction it's going to go because of this secondary patch here. Well, we'll see. We've got plenty of fuel to get home any way we slice it. We've got 6,000 meters per second in this thing, so I'm deeply unconcerned. We've got another pretty lengthy warp here going on, but I had things to say for about half of it. The other half, not so much. So I'll see you back in just a moment. So here we are, nearly done with our warp. We are about to enter the sphere of influence of Duna. In space high over the sun, and Duna. Cool. So we're going to grab what data we can here. Temperature scan, atmospheric pressure scan, mystery goo observation, gravity scan, material study, magnetometer report. We're not going to get anything that's in space low over Duna with this flyby. I'm 95% sure of that. Also, we're going to radial right now. It doesn't really matter. Let's just kill Rot. Okay, cool. So we're going to collect all of our data here, and then we'll have Bob EVA. And he's going to let go here, and we're going to come down this direction. We can grab additional data from the Science Junior and from our Mystery Goo Containment Unit. So we'll conduct our material study and observe the Mystery Goo. Cool. We will collect that data and restore, and collect the data and restore. Now, we can't do this another time for the moment, but we can store that data here, and that's completely okay. We'll collect what data we can. There we go. And now we can make our way over towards our Ike encounter. So we need to return to Kerbin from a flyby of Duna. Okay. We do have an Ike encounter here, and I hope that doesn't break this. We'll find out. So let's warp over to the Ike encounter. Actually, let's go... there's no way this is in space low. There's absolutely none. But we might get some gravity scans, now that I think about it. So we should actually stop time warp, and we should manually warp here. There's Duna, a long ways away. We should be at least 1,000x. But yep, we get a gravity scan, and I'm going to pin open our experiment storage unit so we can just collect that data. And that's lowlands, no problem there. That's midlands, okay. Highlands, let's grab that, and we'll collect that data. More midlands happening here. Lowlands, sure. Midland Sea, cool. We'll grab that, collect the data. What else do we have going on here? That's midlands. And we'll just keep warping in as quickly as we can here. Duna's Midland Sea. Are we going to go... Let's see. This is going to go back into Duna. Are we going to be better off having our third one from Ike or from Duna? I don't actually know. Maybe Ike. I don't think it really matters, though. So Western Canyon we can grab a gravity scan of. That's for sure. And we'll continue to warp on in here as quickly as we can. As quickly as the game will allow us to, anyway. Cool. We're just changing biomes every little while here. Okay, that's Midlands there. We've definitely gotten a lot closer. That's Highlands. I think 1,000x is more than enough now. Midland Sea, whole lot of nothing there. And looks like we're about to hit Ike. Okay, so here's Ike. And we're going to grab what data we can. Grab all of the things. Apparently we don't have an EVA report. That's intriguing. Grab that gravity scan too. We'll collect all of that data that we can, and we are going to EVA, grab the EVA report, and we're going to head on down over this direction. We'll restore our Science Junior and our Mystery Goo Containment Unit. Conduct the material study and observe the Mystery Goo. Keep both of those, and we'll collect this data and restore. Collect data and restore. We may as well observe again. Like I said, I think that we'll keep the Ike data. I'm not sure which one is more valuable. We could check, but that sounds like work. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to keep the Ike data and call it good. Beautiful. So we'll close those doors and hop back in at this point. Overshot that a bit. There we go. Excellent. And now we'll continue to warp forward for our gravity scans. We'll grab that one and collect that data. Here's another one. Collect that. Believe we already have this one. I believe that's what this is indicating. We have this one. That's Midlands, Lowlands, Midlands, Lowlands. Anything else that we're going to get here on the way out? Yes, Western Mountain Range. So we'll grab that. Beautiful. Okay, now we're over Duna. So we're just going to continue to warp until we are free from Duna. Actually, let's take a quick look at our trajectory here. Okay, that did fling us out a bit, but let's just go until we're free of Duna. We are not concerned about Delta V at this moment. There's not a single shred of concern about Delta V. So we're just going to continue to warp on forward here, gathering what science we can from Duna and Ike. We have nearly all that we're going to get. Okay. We're going to be breaking free here pretty soon, right? Pretty sure. Midland Sea, Midland Canyon. Yep, this all looks absolutely fine. And we should be getting free pretty soon. In theory. We keep hitting different biomes here. How much longer till escape? 2 days? Okay. That's the Lowlands. That's the Midlands. That's the Midland Sea. We've got all of this. So far, nothing new going on here. But we might as well check on the way out. No reason not to. Would be nice if we'd stop having constant biome changes, though. No doubt about that. There goes the ascending node. By ascending node, we shouldn't need you on the way back. Okay, we're now in space high over the sun. Cool. So we'll just grab our gravity scan here, and we'll collect all of that. We'll leave this pinned open for now. And at this point, we want to see what would it look like if right about here, we were to do a retrograde burn and just try to intercept Kerbin. It'd probably be terrible. Yeah, that's not great, is it? Not great timing at all for that one. So instead, we would have it be somewhere around here-ish. I mean, that works. It's not amazing. We would definitely want to make a bit of an inclination change, bring that guy on down to be in plane a little bit better. Whoa, okay. That was very sensitive going up, and not very sensitive at all going down. Cool. So we would want this to be somewhere around, just trying to get the right angle for the camera here. Around there. Yeah, that'll do for now. And then we would need to bring in the periapsis a good amount. That's very, very sensitive at this distance. I'm not shocked about that. 42 kilometers is fine. That's fine. I wouldn't mind altering that inclination a wee bit. So we'd have to get ourselves a bit more space. And then bring it in something like this. I mean, we could go full orbital and come in very, very controlled if we really wanted to. That is a theoretical possibility here. but I don't think it's necessary. We can do something like this, and I mean, 56 kilometers is a bit on the high end, especially if we're going to do a big old radial retrograde burn, but we can target something like that, and that should be good. We are still using our mainsail, by the way, as we start to head home. That's rather exciting, but let's get into position here, and we'll commence this warp. It's once again going to be a pretty long time warp. These phases are not ideal. This is not a good transfer window, to be clear. So we're going to have to warp for a while here. So as usual, I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, so here we are with the warp over, and we are ready to start our burn here in 55 seconds. We're finally going to be saying goodbye to this mainsail, and I'm very looking forward to that. 20 seconds, 10, and 2, 1, and 0. Cool. So we're going to be saying goodbye to this mainsail here, and hopefully the wiggle as well. That's not great, that's for sure. I'm not a fan of the wiggle. This should be much more stable from here. Cool. Of course, it's also much lower thrust to weight, so we're going to physics warp our way through this burn. At least through most of it. We're almost certainly going to have to do a correction here. Okay. 3, 2, 1, and just going to get that last little bit here. 0.0 meters per second. Let's see how we did. Okay, we're a little bit high up here. We can retrograde this in a little bit. So that doesn't look too bad, all things considered. Nope, we're prograding. Okay, so we need to flip around to prograde. This is also very sensitive, and we're just going to thrust limit that right on down. Let's physics warp around to prograde. That tiny little burn pushed us out 2 million meters. Okay, so now we're going to bring this guy on in here now that it's a lot less sensitive with that thrust limit. That looks great. Cool. We're going to be coming down night side if we do this here. Do we want to come down night side? I don't know. YouTube compression doesn't do too well with dark things, so maybe we should just circularize here. It's a super viable thing with the amount of delta V that we have. How much DV will that be? Kind of an irrelevant amount, 1200. Yeah, I don't care about that. This seems good. I think we do this. Well, actually, we don't have a second maneuver node here. I got rid of that because I thought we had a second maneuver node. We don't. This is absolutely fine. So we're just going to bring that right on in like so. Reasonably circularized. That'll do the trick. We'll align for the node. And this is going to burn off 1,200 meters per second, but we've got plenty of fuel left in this tank, of course. And let's warp. Beautiful. We'll be getting potentially some gravity scans on the way in, so really we don't necessarily want to auto time warp here. I want to time warp to be here. So that's going to be about 300 days out, and that's a while. No doubt about that. So as usual, I'll see you guys in just a moment. So here we are about to enter the sphere of influence of Kerbin. I don't actually know where it is. We're not in plane with Kerbin, so it's probably like down below us, I think. I think we're going to be coming in from above slightly. Oh, actually, there it is. It's basically in plane. Fascinating. It only looks like it's not going to be in plane down here. Okay, yeah, that's reasonably close. So that looks good. We are now in space high over Kerbin's shores. We can grab this gravity scan. May as well. We'll collect that data. And we're just going to warp forward and grab what gravity scans we can as we approach our burn time here. So that looks good. We'll continue to grab all of this data. That's grasslands, which we already have. Highlands. Grasslands. Highlands. Eventually we'll get another one. Hey, Badlands. Cool. So we'll collect that. Shores we have. Grasslands are good. Badlands. Yup. This all looks fine for now. And we're just going to continue heading in here. We've got about 1 day, 4 hours. Water. Cool. We'll collect that. We've got about 1 day, 4 hours to continue to grab data here. Deserts. Excellent. Now that we've got that, we can proceed. That's shores, water. Whoa, okay. That was exciting. Why did it not give additional biome pauses there? That was interesting. So we're going to need quite a burn here now, aren't we? Because this is very late. Actually, this isn't too bad. It's a little wacky, no doubt about that. This could do the trick. Yeah, that would work. Burn time of 1 day, but we would need to unthrust limit this, right? So burn time of 2 minutes and 18 seconds. Yeah, this isn't that much worse. I mean, we're gonna have to do another breaking burn, so it's obviously worse, right? There's no doubt about it. It's obviously worse, but it'll work. And we'll keep an eye on this in-space eye, I guess. So our burn is going to be in about 50 seconds here. We definitely overshot that. I was definitely expecting to, when we popped into in-space low, for it to stop the time warp there, but it did not happen, which was very surprising. I manually stopped the time warp when I noticed that things were going awry. Very strange. Regardless, it doesn't matter. This is why we're overbuilt. This is why we are overbuilt. So we're going to burn basically directly at the target here. We are looking to slow down and get captured, and it's going to be a very elliptical orbit, but at least we'll be in orbit. Cool. There's a lot of braking happening here. This would have been far, far more efficient if we had burned, you know, at 100 kilometers. But here we are. We did not get our auto warp stopping. Now, to be clear, when I say that I'm surprised that it didn't stop, I'm not talking about warping to the maneuver. I know that we weren't warping to the maneuver. It's just that we're supposed to get a time warp stoppage when we pass over in-space low. The fact that we didn't indicates that we probably already had all of that data. That's probably what happened there. So that's fine, but certainly awkward. Oh, I thought we were physics warping this whole time. That's also in the category of awkward. We've got about 50 seconds left on this burn, and we're going to bring this around. At least we're going to be in orbit, right? So that'll be fine. 2, 1, and... I mean... that was if we were still warping. 4, 3, 2, 1, and... 0, but we've got a moon encounter going on here. Okay. This is a fine periapsis after the moon encounter. I'm okay with that. We don't want a radial burn necessarily. We don't need to change our inclination. It's completely fine. We could go for arrow capture here. I'm not doing that. I'm going to make this be a bit more of a controlled re-entry, and we're just going to circularize this. It's all good. Well, that was only mildly awkward. This is still plenty good here, so no issues there. We'll head on over to the node. I can't help but notice this isn't the node direction. Maybe it will be the node direction after we have our moon flyby? Also, we should check to make sure that we're not going to crash into the moon. We're not going to crash into the moon. Okay. Looks good? Maybe? I don't know if that looks good or not. We have an impact marker? Hang on. Why do we have an impact marker? This is currently saying we're going to impact grasslands. Okay, things are going to be weird after our moon encounter, it seems. Well, we're just going to warp forward here, and we want to make sure that we still have that experiment storage unit pinned. Okay, that's fine for the time being. So highlands for now, grasslands, that's all looking good, right? I want to be focused on Kerbin for the time being. This got very awkward, no doubt about that, but we've got enough Delta V, it doesn't actually matter. This got very, very awkward, though. Very, very, very awkward. And right now, we're just waiting to see if we get any extra data out of it. And actually, yeah, we do. Kerbin's Mountains. Okay, cool. I mean, not like that's all that relevant, but we do get some. We're currently moving very, very, very slowly. The only thing that's really changing our biomes is Kerbin moving underneath us right now. We are still a bunch of hours away from this. I'm actually just going to do this number. Okay, now we're no longer seeing a moon encounter, and now it's appearing like we're going to have an impact. Sure. So, that's exciting. Oh, that's very exciting. It's flickering back and forth. Let's see if we can resolve this. Let's go over to radial. Let's bring this on in. Okay. So we're just going to warp through here, and let's see if we encounter the moon or not. When we're warping, it looks like we're not going to. If we do, okay, we are going to encounter the moon here. It's going to be a very minor encounter. So we can grab a gravity scan, may as well. What else do we have? Moon's Midlands? Sure, we'll collect that. And that's all we've got. Okay, that's fine. So now we're going to be heading on in. I guess at this point we need to remake this maneuver. And the moon flung us out a little bit. Of course, we also had that radial burn, so I guess that's to be expected. We'll just circularize this for now. And let's continue heading towards Kerbin. Okay, it looks like we've got all of this data. Yeah, it definitely looks like we've got all of the in-space high data. I'm going to try to not have the same problem that we did before. We're only 11 minutes away from our warp point at this point, so we're keeping an eye on that. Not letting our warp speed go up too high here. This is all still in-space high. Okay. That's all great. And I'm not going to bother with the in-space low, for the record. We should have pretty much all of the in-space low data. You know, at this point, let's just call it good. Let's warp forward, and let's get this done. It's been very awkward. A very awkward trip indeed. So we're going to start up our burn a couple seconds late, but that really doesn't matter. Completely and totally irrelevant there. Let's get this slowed on down. And we'll just come in on the day side here. We've got a lot of Delta V in the tank. Cool, that'll do. So we'll just flip over to retrograde, and up over here we're going to bring this on down. Guess we could grab this gravity scan. We'll grab any that we notice, but yeah, this'll do. 43 kilometers is a bit on the high side still. 30 kilometers. Let's bring that down a bit further to around 20. Yeah, that'll do. Kerbin's water, we'll grab that. Let's align to this node. Beautiful. And let's just warp on around. I did see a gravity scan that we missed here. There's a couple of them. I'm not that concerned. Okay, we'll just call this good. 50 seconds until our burn, and we'll just warp forward a little bit faster. 30, 20, 10, and now. Beautiful. Looks like a land landing. That's definitely a land landing. Okay. So we're just going to be on surface velocity minus. We'll continue to warp here. And let's bring this guy right on in. So, of course, 70 kilometers is our altitude for Kerbin. We're going to retract our solar panel and our other solar panel. And we'll retract our antenna. And I just want to, at this point, get positioned, and we're just going to burn hard here. We're just going to try to burn off all of this fuel. So we'll physics warp as we burn. I guess we could grab this atmospheric analysis. Why not? Cool. And we'll just continue to burn. What's our thrust to weight? 1.29, hilariously. That's not going to remain the case. I can tell you that right now. 20 seconds of burn time left here. 10. And that engine is gone. So we're going to continue to burn here and slow ourselves on down further. We've got 107 seconds of burn time here. How long until our impact? Allegedly 50 seconds. Okay. Keeping an eye on that impact time and our current speed. We could try to recover this whole stage. It's a land landing, so it'll tip over. Might be a little awkward. Guess we can grab our atmospheric analysis. I mean, we've still got a lot of burn time here. Yeah, we could do our drogue shoots and then our main shoot. And still have a lot of burn time. Like, we have a lot of spare Delta V here. No doubt about that one. I'm going to keep 10 seconds of burn time in the tank. There we go. I'm going to keep these open as, like, pseudo landing legs. We're going to tip over, and it's going to be kind of awkward. We should probably be on up here. And we're just falling down to the surface as quickly as we can. We're a kilometer up right now. Or how much are we actually up? Half a kilometer. Because we were on sea level altitude there. Cool. 10 meters per second, huh? That does feel a little bit fast. But it should be okay. Okay, 100 meters up. I'm going to commence our braking burn. 6 meters per second. That's more acceptable. Emphasis on more. Okay. And we're going to tip over, and cool. We're using these as makeshift landing legs. Nothing blew up. I like it. So let's recover our vessel. We return to Kerbin from a flyby of Duna. I guess we could grab some data here, but this is literally all full. We could grab our atmospheric analysis. Okay. We'll recover that vessel, and let's see what we get for science. It is time to put a cut in here, a little bit past time. So as soon as we know what we get for science, I'm going to go ahead and do that. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and let's see just how much this science is going to be. Any moment now, KSP. You can do it. I have faith in you. Any moment now. There we go. 2,147 science. I love it. Just from a flyby mission. So that gets us 2 of our 3 remaining techs here. And we can probably transmit the rest of the science from Duna. But that is a mission for next episode. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, James, Shadowwolf, Mlohan80, Rogue Corvid, Kentogan, Andy Magar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.